the talk of Twitter during England's first game?
Mr. Philip Neville.
Yes, it was Phil Neville.
People were disappointed that he didn't have much charisma as a co-commentator. This is Phil Neville. He's not a byword. No one before that was going, well, my dream dinner party. Well, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Philip Neville. He's a very boring man. What do you expect?
The thing is, I felt sorry for him, though, because, you know, basically, he wasn't as good a footballer as his brother Gary. He's not as good a commentator as his brother Gary. You feel if Phil Neville entered a Phil Neville lookalike competition, Gary would win that. The only person who thinks that Phil is better than Gary is Ed Miliband.
And the choice of music doesn't mean an inspiring piece of music. The ITV music in particular is just a guy going, Brazil. And they put the rest of the song out. It's like, it's a really good song. It's a really famous samba song, that one with like, dun 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 dun. No, we don't want the bit. We just want the bit where you go, Brazil.
I like it. Obviously, I've loved the Brazilian rhythms.
Yes, obviously. Yeah. Obviously, I look at you and I think, here's a man who loves Brazilian rhythms. I think Josh Widdicombe and I think the intoxicating samba rhythms of Brazil. You know, we see you backstage, Josh, where you wear that giant, like, headdress that comes all the way out. And you're just in there going, hey, what are we going to talk about in the show today? That cheeky look in your face.
Well, I'm looking forward to when they watch this bit of the show and then get you in for the final. It's going to be brilliant, isn't it? You sambling across the ITV studio.
If they flew me to Brazil for the final, I will wear the headdress. I am dun 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 na 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 na. Oh, you happily wear.
I think if we had a whip round with this studio audience, it could happen.
I get to Brazil. I'll just go on the beach behind the ITV studios. Dun 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 dun. I will not go. I will not go. It's a public beach. Dun 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 dun. Carried on. Dun 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 dun. Climbing up the glass window behind the BBC studio. Bam 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 bam. Oh yeah, I love that. How would you do that?
The England football team, they had all their passport numbers revealed, didn't they? They got them given out. Apart from Wayne Rooney, who doesn't, in fact, need a passport anymore since he's been chipped. So...
I feel sorry for him.
Wayne Rooney could have half an hour ago scored like a blistering hat-trick and be the most greatest, most beloved man in the country, and we're here still peddling the old stereotype about Wayne Rooney.
He hasn't scored a hat-trick and then gone,
I'll go for that.
I'm going to celebrate by watching my favourite show, Mock the Weeks.
I've rigged up a whole satellite thing in the dressing room. Come on, guys, let's watch Mock the Week in the dressing room. I was spraying, oh, what a result. I wonder, has the good news filtered through at home? Oh, come on.
And next to him is Phil Neville going, oh!
Ed Miliband's joined them in the dressing room to celebrate.
Boss of Nando's.
You think the boss of Nando's, Ed Miliband, Phil Neville and Wayne Rooney are on a night out in Rio tonight watching the show?
Yeah,
going,
damn right.
Our stock has never been higher. Dun, 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 dun. At the end of that round, the floor is going to Josh, Sarah and Andy. Let's spin the wheel for our first topic. And the topic is exercise.
We all know we need to do more exercise. I mean, we've now got the fattest kids in Europe. I'm not going to make fun out of obese children. I've learnt not to do that. They will come down on you like a ton of bricks. I didn't like exercising as a kid. When I was a kid, I was made to go swimming in a pool that had a Veruca pool before you got into it. The Veruca pool. Do you remember the Veruca pool? They actually called it the Veruca pool. You can't encourage children to walk in something that's called a Veruca pool. It's like offering somebody the use of your chlamydia flannel, isn't it? I mean, I try and exercise a bit more now. I've started doing yoga because apparently it increases your flexibility and spirituality. And I've got to be honest, it's pretty good. I'm now so good at the downward-facing dog, I have on occasion caught glimpses of my own third eye. I did a half marathon though a few months ago, which was pretty good. You know, don't be overly impressed, which you're clearly not. But I only finished yesterday, so there's clearly a lot of work to be done. And I did I did the run for charity, and I know a lot of people are doing things for charity. You can't just exercise now, can you? You've got to do it for a good cause, and I get a lot of those emails. I know we all do, you know, will you sponsor me? Will you sponsor me? I'm like, what are you doing? I'm flip-flopping up Kilimanjaro for diarrhoea. Pogoing across the Arctic for trapped wind. Are you? Don't do that. I mean, the last London Marathon, it cost me an absolute fortune, because I sponsored loads of friends, right? I gave one friend 20 quid because he was doing it for cancer research, another friend 20 quid because he was doing it for heart disease, another one 20 quid because he was doing it for diabetes. In the end, it was actually cheaper for me to join Bupa.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is work.
I didn't think I'd get a loan from the bank for my knitting business, but when I turned up actually wearing one of the balaclavas... I used to be a weatherman. In fact, does anyone want to buy a broken barometer? No pressure. If there'd been a mix-up, my uncle could have ended up as the next president of the United States. He's an undertaker in the army, or Barack Obama. Soldiers, of course, very emotionally repressed. Sometimes you see one of them go into the middle of a parade ground and shout, "Attention!" What he needs is a hug. Well, that's what I thought. My dad, he was a soldier, so, of course, as a family, we were always moving around a lot, because he used to use us for target practice. 6 hours I had to wait in the other day for the electrician until he opened the cupboard under the stairs and I was able to leap out at him. I remember when I was a policeman, I was asked to seal off an area and I went... "Arr!" That's all right, thank you.
Well done. Points there for Mr. Jones. Come on back. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
I will have world news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is 1.6 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many immigrants are so lazy they haven't even bothered to come over here?
Is it what in decibels is Brian Blessed?
Is it when they go back to us, how many drachma will there be to the euro?
For about a week or so.
How many Scottish people now say they voted yes in the referendum?
Is it what was the crucial missing ingredient from England's bid for the 2022 World Cup?
Is it how much are cats owed in YouTube advertising?
Is it when I went on Dragon's Den, how much did I want for a 2% share in my body hoover business?
James, talk numbers. How many? What's your turnover?
Well, Deborah. I haven't really got the numbers in my head. That's what they say, isn't it?
Right, I'm out.
That usually gets...
Is it what is the count in Sesame Street up to now?
We think he's just somewhere in a bar, just still counting. Tiny Transylvanian puppet in a bar. 1.5.
If you go and use a Glastonbury toilet, is it how many people seem to have used that toilet before you have?
Is it what number, when typed into a calculator and turned upside down, becomes, ooh, GI?
Is it after you've popped, how many Pringles can you eat before you must stop?
Is it, since I started this sentence, how much further has Greece got into debt?
It's to do with Greece, clearly, yes, we're all dancing around. What is 1.6 billion?
This is the amount in euros that Greece are supposed to pay back to the IMF by the 30th of June.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Sarah Pascoe. Well done. Yes. The question I was looking for was how much money in euros does Greece need to repay to the International Monetary Fund by the 30th of June? That's next Tuesday, or risk crashing out of the Eurozone?
But it is a loan, isn't it? What they've got is a loan. I think it might solve itself. Are we certain they haven't got PPI? Wouldn't that be great? Just on the day before they have to pay back, Alexander Tsipras, the Greek Prime Minister, gets a phone call saying, "We have been trying to contact you."
That's the Greek PM. Well, he seems thrilled with that particular development.
He looks so coy. He literally looks like that is the face that people do when you go up to him and go, "Where's my money?" He's like, "Money?"
There's lots of ways of raising money, though, aren't there? I would have thought. They've got lots of stuff.
Yeah.
They could have a big episode of the Antiques Roadshow. They'd raise quite a lot of money.
They could use plastic plates at weddings. That'd save a lot of money.
And then if they fail, what's the term called for what'll happen to them?
Grexit.
Grexit.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
It's a great term, isn't it?
I don't like it being shortened, because I like it when the papers call it a messy Greek exit, because that sounds like a pornography description.
I like when they say the Greeks have been warned of Grexit. Like, you know, Grexit is this thing which is going to emerge from the sea in a kind of with his eyes so red and a scary nose and a horrible waters, horrible toes. The Grexit.
Grexit, sure. It just also sounds like the door on the way out of a Greggs, doesn't it? That's what confuses me about it. Don't they have that above the door in Greggs?
If you eat yourself to death on pasties, that's a Grexit, I think.
This, by the way, is not Greg's in Athens. This is people going, "Hey, my money, please."
I've seen queues like that in Leicester Square on a Saturday night.
Not into a bank, presumably.
I've seen long queues at cash machines just on busy nights.
They might be going
many times
for a bed and a
It means
bath.
nothing. You're playing into the hands of the European Commission and their misinformation. Shit, I don't know what happened there.
You're telling me that essentially all these people are on a night out and they just want a few quid.
Maybe.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
Michael, Peter, David, Vladimir, I think we may have a spy in the organisation.
Give me the pentagon, then the triangle, and then the square.
Ah, Pussy Galore, Bond here. I've been told by my doctor that I need to contact all previous partners.
The owner of this motel dresses up as his mother and stabs people. But the guidebook says it's still better than the Ibis.
I want you to go to Warsaw, meet a man called Borislav. You'll then ask him why he didn't fix my plumbing before he left for home.
Miss Scarlett looked at him through the window. He had one massive testicle like a space hopper. That was why they called him Professor Plum.
This is no ordinary pen, Bond. Turn it upside down, the woman's clothes drop off and you can see it fit.
Red or green, which do I cut? Come on, they're only peppers. How long is this salad going to take?
We need to find the third man. There's no way Amanda Holden will shag just two of us.
Here's Simon.
The Orient Express has been cancelled. However, there was a murder on the temporary Orient replacement bus.
I have amnesia. The tattoos on my body will tell me what happened. Dara was here.
I'd been a serial killer for 4 years, but they'd never given me a nickname. Then, you bite one guy in the ass, and suddenly you're the butt muncher.
Ah, the butt muncher's got me! The butt muncher's got me!
leaves us with Mickey. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is food. Oh, here you go.
Now, this is one of my favourite topics because I absolutely hate restaurants. And my wife loves restaurants. She's middle class. She's been skiing and everything. And she loves a restaurant. She says, can we go to a restaurant at the weekend? And I say, yes, we can. And we're there. We're barely there 2 minutes. And she's like, isn't it a lovely ambiance? And I say to her, I don't know what you're talking about. I've worked out what an ambiance is. It's a night out without poor people, isn't it, basically? It's people with a few quid to say, can we just have one night out without the poor people turning up? You know what they're like. They'll be banging spoons together, singing Mailman's a Dustman, creating an atmosphere. We want an ambiance. So we try and enjoy the ambiance. But something's happened spoiling it for me. There's no tomato sauce on the table. Creating the situation when my wife looked at me, she said, you're going to ask for tomato sauce, aren't you? I said, yes, I am. Because I'm going to have the risotto. You can't eat risotto without red sauce, it's too dry. It's a health and safety issue. You've got to zhuzh it up with a bit of red sauce, right? So I thought, I'm not having it. I said to the waitress, excuse me, do you have any ketchup in the building? She's looked at me like I'm the worst pleb God has ever put breath in. She went off to the kitchen and I saw her making her way back with a pot about that big, about 2 chipfuls of tomato sauce. I thought, oh, here we go. She's tried to put it down and walk away like she's doing a drug deal or something. And I stopped her. I said, hold on, love, don't rush off. And I took a sip of it. And I looked at her, I said, Jess, I'll have a bottle, please. And there they are, Scotland through to the final 16. Dear Babe Station, have you actually read the trade's description? That... A few years ago, my wife and I had a baby. Well, we didn't have it straight away. We had to cook it up for a little while. And so she suggested we go to these classes run by the National Childbirth Trust in our local area. They're very middle-class antenatal classes. They're run by this fascist breastfeeding woman. Who's basically... You can go to her home on a Tuesday night. She's breastfeeding her 9-year-old son during the session. It's not awkward. All the men are checking the coving out. It's come away up there because they should have put glue both sides. That's... No, she's still doing it. What are you going to do? And, I think by week 4, she's running out of ideas, so she started on the men. She said, I'm going to ask the men this evening, the men. The men are coming on board. How might they benefit by giving birth to the baby themselves? Can we talk about those benefits? Now, there's 6 of us in a circle. I'm in trap 3. Not the best position, the worst one either. Chap number 1's in the best position. He said, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, you'd have an empathy with womankind and her struggle over the centuries, creating a greater relationship with your partner. I was thinking, oh, cobblers, I was going to use that one. Chap number 2 dug in, fair enough. He said, well, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have a bond with the child at a more primeval, physical level. Started crying. Nice touch. Mother Earth looked at me, I'm having a panic attack. It's all gone a bit hazy. She said, Michael? I said, well, at least you'd be 100% sure it was yours. Mr. Von Trapp, I'm here from the council. We've had complaints about some terrible singing coming from your house. Golden, relax. We're doing a bit of dinner, mate. You're not sorting out the Middle East here.
And the topic is fashion. OK, Mickey.
Bound to be, wasn't it? I've returned to the vest. Happened a couple of years ago. I was walking through Marx's to get me pants. You always go back to Marx's. And, they know. They look at you. They go, you come back and you try. You went the next, didn't you? Got flash. And I saw the vest. Packet of singlet vests. I thought, I'm having them. put them in my basket, I covered them over like pornography. Got to the counter, I said to woman, get them in the bag, love, get them in the bag. Got home, I shook one of these vests out, I thought, put it on, I thought, that is the answer. The wife came home, she said, what's all this with the vest? I said, I like them, I'm returned to the vest. She said, I don't mind, but only indoors. So for a couple of years, I've worn the vest, sort of in secret. But the other day, I'd had a couple of cans of beer and I wanted a couple more, so I got up to go out and my wife said, the vest. I said, no more. I refuse to live a lie. I'm standing up for vest wearers all over the world. I marched off down the off here. I've got 2 cans of Stella Artois. Put one in my back pocket, cracked the other one open. And I walked back from the off in my vest. I made a discovery. You drink a can of Stella and wear a vest, you get a bit of space. And on Time Team tonight, we're in Stratford on Avon, where we've uncovered loads of monkey skeletons and some typewriters. To be honest, I'm not interested in all this old nonsense, really, but since the end of Blackadder, the work's been fairly hard to come by.
The topic is culture.
Thank you. I know you're thinking this man doesn't enjoy culture. Well, you're right, I hate it. Now, I am an intellectual. I know I left school with nothing, but I did go to university later on when I got a degree when I was 29. It was tough, speaking up during the lecture, knowing everyone's thinking, blimey, the window cleaner's keen on it. But when I came out, when I got the degree, I thought, that's it, I'll be interested in things now, won't I? It's all going to be fine. So I thought I'll go back to the art galleries again. Went into the art gallery. I don't like art galleries. I'm never quite sure how long you're supposed to look at the pictures for. I should give you a bit of guidance, you know, because I can crack on in a gallery, I really can. 3 or 4 minutes. Boss, that's not bad, that's not bad, that's not bad. Just mess that up. I can be over by the door in about 5 minutes. The wife's crying at a Matisse. Come on, love, there's a Wetherspoons round the corner. But the other thing is, you've got to enjoy looking at other cities, apparently. The city break, does it actually exist, the city break? Is it a real thing? Went with the wife to Prague the other week, and she said, after a couple of days, she said, are you enjoying yourself? I said, yeah, I've just paid 15 quid for 2 cups of coffee. But at least we've got that bridge to walk over again. Because I've never done that before. Or maybe we could go to the castle. Thank you very much. Who's the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A? What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
And subject is fashion.
Now, I'll tell you about fashion. Now, a few years ago, I was looking for a new image. So I started going on stage like this, thinking that'll create an image for me. They'll go, oh, you've seen the geezer, stunning looking, where's his top button done? But I subsequently found out the image this tends to create is you're a wanker. So I looked into the whole issue of it, and I'll tell you the situation with the shirt button, OK? So, because the people don't really thought of like that, they tend to undo their top button. There we go. It's better, isn't it? However, it's not enough. Still a bit too high. Still a bit of tension in the room. What you really want is one more. Watch. See that? It's palpable, isn't it? Everyone's going, whoa, thank God for that. That is the level of buttonage we require from a man going out for the evening to the all-bar one. Very good. However, if I go one more, I'm suddenly back to being an arsehole again. tough is it being a man knowing that you're going through life only ever one button away from being a wanker or an arsehole?
There you go. Well done all of you. The points there. And go to Simon and Mickey. Come on, let's sit down.
Here, Sarge, pass us the art section out the Guardian, will you, mate? I was about to arrest her, Sarge, but to be honest, my bottle went because she shouted out, "I put a curse upon you!
Okay. Whose famous face was recently given a makeover?
Is this Jesus story?
This is the Jesus story.
This is like this Spanish woman who tried to restore this painting and just ruined it.
She did. Where was it? By the way? It was, it was in...
It was in Spain.
It was in Spain. I'm trying to
Where
find...
the Spanish ladies are.
Yes. And they do dance well. It was in Zaragoza. It was in the Sanctuary of Mercy Church in Zaragoza.
That's it. And the authorities were very cross with her. Because the only people who are allowed to touch up in a Catholic church are, of course, the priest.
Yes, it was a church, the Sanctuary of Mercy Church near Zaragoza, and there is a century-old...
You really brought Spain to life for us there.
You have to make an effort with foreign names. You can't just be Zeds
and you say Paris, do you?
Zaragoza. Zaragoza.
Wanker.
Zaragoza.
So, hola, ¿qué tal? Sí, bueno.
See, the worst thing is I do a Spanish accent, it goes Mexican incredibly quickly.
There was a fresco in a church in Zaragoza. This fresco was incredibly beautiful. They call it El Guapismo.
Anyway, there was a fresco in a church in Zaragoza.
Where's the fresco?
It's in a church in Zaragoza. In a church in Zaragoza. In a church in Zaragoza.
Zaragoza. How old was it?
It was a century. It was 100 years old.
A whole 100 years.
A whole 100 years old.
What a story this is. My Somebody has touched up a 100-year-old painting on a wall.
Quiet week. Zaragoza is a very sleepy town. I think it's much more the case that it was decaying because of where it had been painted, right? And so this is how the fresco looked originally. This is actually a photograph taken some years ago. Now,
This
is the fresco is painted by Elias Garcia Martinez. I'm going for it. I'm going
Do
for
it, man, do it.
Right. This is how it looked just recently because the plaster on which it was built had decayed, right? So this is how it looked now.
Okay.
So a nice old lady, a nice Zaragozan lady, went in and repainted it. And just paint up. And this is how it looked when she'd finished. She's done a great job of it.
Here's one I sent in earlier.
You really should be. Like old lady, Zaragoza. I am sorry, people of Zaragoza. We cannot return your paintings. Thank you very much for sending them in to Mock the Week's gallery.
Your paintings because they're painted on a wall in a church.
She's actually made Jesus look like a Teletubby.
She also rounded him off as well. Like she twisted it around and the whole thing.
She thought she'd done a really good job, though, because everyone that she showed it to went, Jesus Christ! To be completely fair, we don't actually know what Jesus looked like.
He didn't look like that.
Just assume that he looked like... Who knows? He
I'll tell you what,
this might have been the bit from the Bible.
I'm Jesus.
I'll tell you what. Missing in the Bible where Jesus comes in after a botched face job. Last Supper and everyone says, have you had any work done, Jesus? No!
You know my furry hat? My furry hat goes all the way around.
She's actually seeing the restorer next week, isn't she? Because she's got to tell the restorer exactly what materials she used to do that. And you're thinking all she's going to produce is half a potato.
The irony is she's probably older than the fucking fresco.
What was John Prescott up to last week in this photo?
This was when he'd just fallen through a Stargate. He'd been doing some policy measures in ancient Egypt and then woof! Quantum leap straight into a kids' 100 metres final.
How far into the 100 metres final is he there?
A yard, I think.
Essentially, yeah. He is actually, he's just taken off.
Is it not a mark of some stupidity that he seems to be kind of reaching for the line with 99 metres to go?
I think the idea was the Prescott dip.
Actually, about 3 yards later, this is what he looked like. To be fair to him, he pulled a muscle. Right? He hasn't sufficiently warmed up.
He seems to become an
exercise mistake.
He seems to have become an awful lot shorter as well. Which is
He looks like he's offering an unusual service to one of his juniors.
Why did he do it, though? I mean, why do politicians do these stupid, humiliating things?
Because
he's supposed to be busy. I mean, we all know he's, an embarrassment, and the government, are looking for a place to bury him. But nominally, he's the Deputy Prime Minister. And he turns up at a school and joins in with a race? He's depicting himself as a moron. Now, maybe he is a moron, but there should at least be a team of people round him trying to stop him looking quite the moron he clearly is.
Clearly, there are 3 advisors there.
Going, what the hell you joined in with the race, you wanker? They're children. You were wearing your coat. Of course you pulled a muscle, you fat git.
OK. The next topic is unlikely things for a continuity announcer to say.
On ITV2 next, what Katie did next. Which I'm guessing is get her tits out and marry some thick prick for publicity purposes.
I can see you.
A very special episode of Songs of Praise now, coming live from Stringfellows.
That was Game of Thrones, and if you're affected by any of the issues raised in that show, what the fuck is wrong with your family?
Is masturbation bad for you? That's not the next programme, I'm just thinking aloud.
Next up, Baking and Entering with Anthony Worrell-Thompson.
Next up, Ross Kemp meets one of America's toughest gangs. But before that, a minute's silence for Ross Kemp.
No! Dad! This is bullshit! Hate it when the eggheads win.
Now on Channel 4, one born every minute, including graphic scenes of childbirth that some viewers may find inspiration to get a coil.
And now on Channel 4, skins. Foreskins.
Next up on Channel 4, +1, -2, divided by 3. Countdown.
Next up, we have literally the only episode of Top of the Pops 2 we're allowed to show.
That was Mock the Week. Wasn't it weird when one of them said the exact same thing I'm saying right now? Still, talented fella.
Next up on BBC... Wait a minute, are those hippos swimming in a circle? What? Why are we watching Homes Under the Hammer?
Now it's one of those X Factor episodes where they sing next to a swimming pool, I presume to prepare them for a life singing on cruise ships.
You're watching the adult channel +1, because that Viagra's taking a while to kick in.
Well, next up, it's Midlands Today, so if you're watching in the Orkneys, you can fuck off.
At the end of that round. The points go to James, Hugh and Rob. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel for the first topic. And the first topic is parenthood. Who wants to come in on that? Ed.
Been thinking recently that I should maybe have a baby, but I've thought about it and definitely not. Couldn't handle that amount of responsibility, something that precious. It's terrifying. You know, I've got friends who've just had a baby and they offer that thing around like a plate of biscuits. Do you want to hold my baby? Do you want to hold my baby? I don't want to touch your baby. That is a heart in a bag. I'm going nowhere near that thing. You wouldn't send the work experience into the boardroom, would you? Start me off holding your uncle and I will work my way up. This is Uncle Toby, 47, from Swansea. Don't worry about dropping me, Ed. I am absolutely shit-faced. Still can't help it. I still think I might want a baby. Like, there's just moments in life I'm just grabbing at signs from the universe. Think, oh, maybe I should have a baby. It's happened to me the other day. I was in the queue in a shop to buy a new light bulb. Because I'm not a student anymore, my light bulb had gone. I'm not going to sit there in the dark for 6 months. So I was in the queue, and in the queue in front of me was a man with a baby. He was a dad. You've got to give people the benefit of the doubt in that scenario. Can't go storming in going, excuse me, is that your baby? You've just got to admit it probably is, right? And on the wall, there were these light switches. They weren't real light switches. They were just, like, designer ones to show you what they would look like on the wall. And the baby was playing with them. It was going, ah-da-da-da-da-da-da, playing with them. And the dad was going, yeah, try that one. And was going, ah-da-da. I saw that. I thought, ooh, that's quite sweet. Maybe I want a baby. There's something in that tableau that I quite like. Maybe I want a baby. Am I broody? Is this brood? And then the dad walked off with the baby, and I wandered over to the light switches and started playing with them. I thought, oh, no, that's what I wanted.
Well good, Ed. First topic is health.
I had to have my penis looked at. By a doctor. I didn't just wake up one morning and go, oh, more people should be looking at this, quite frankly. I used to spend an hour a day at my bedroom window with it pressed up against the glass. It was a scary experience having to go to the doctors. I thought I should build up the courage to get down there and have it looked at. Well, I went in there, my courage flew out the window like a little bird. Because as soon as I went in there, I found out that the doctor who I had an appointment with was a lady doctor. Now, I obviously don't have a problem with ladies being doctors. In fact, give them the vote, that's what I say. But there is a worry if there's a lady poking round down there. In that context, what if your nethers decide, ooh, think it's time to go to work? Luckily, then, I remembered I'm not an Alsatian whose lipstick pops out at the slightest whiff of an undercarriage. I needn't have worried because she was a good doctor, she was a great doctor. She put me at ease straight away using one word. This is what she said. She said, OK, Mr Gamble, just go behind that curtain there and pop it out for me. There's the word pop. Now, pop is a lovely word. As soon as I heard that word, I knew everything was going to be fine because she was not expecting anything big in that area at all. Because the word pop is reserved for very small things. No one has ever said, come in, help me, pop the elephant in the van, have they? So I was relaxed. Better than me going in there and her saying, OK, just heave yourself out your trousers for me. Just haul yourself out the front of your trews. Just swing yourself over in my direction. Maybe I can bring out this Shire horse and he can drag your junk over towards my workstation. Or open this corner cupboard and bring out a team of pantomime dwarves who can shoulder your meat and waddle it over towards me, like pallbearers at a weird circus cock funeral. Thank you.
Good job. And the first topic is relationships. Ed.
So I've just moved in with my girlfriend. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Cheers, thanks for the support, Mum. That's good of you. It's good, it's exciting. The first time I've lived with a girl. Obviously, we're finding out a lot more about each other that we didn't know before. What I found out about her is she's kinder, funnier, more sensitive than I ever realised. What we've both found out about me is I am a terrible, terrible prick and so difficult to live with. Because it turns out I am a tidy person. I didn't realise. I thought I was normal. But apparently, it is not normal to have a favourite J-cloth. She is a messy, messy lady. She is unbelievable. She's laid back, no worries. She says that a lot. No, who has no worries? Are you dead? Are you a robot? What's wrong with you? You should wake up, worry, go to bed. That is a full day as far as I'm concerned. She genuinely said this out loud the other day. Hakuna Matata. And I'm starting to think the actual Swahili translation of that is doesn't hoover. Because there is underwear everywhere. This is an odd side effect of living with a girl that I did not fully anticipate. I no longer find women's underwear sexually titillating in any way whatsoever. Because I used to be able to just see underwear and that was enough to get me excited. Didn't have to be a woman in it. Just be a bra on the floor and I'd go, ooh, boobs were there. That's enough. Now, nothing like that. I see a pair of knickers now, it's just something the remote control might be under.
Well done, Obama. Very good.
And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently anyway. I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
And the first subject is parenthood. Who wants to come in on that? Ed.
I've been thinking recently that I should maybe have a baby, but I've thought about it and definitely not. Couldn't handle that amount of responsibility, something that precious, it's terrifying. You know, I've got friends who've just had a baby and they offer that thing around like a plate of biscuits. Do you want to hold my baby? Do you want to hold my baby? I don't want to touch your baby. That is a heart in a bag. I'm going nowhere near that thing. You wouldn't send the work experience into the boardroom, would you? Start me off at holding your uncle and I will work my way up. This is Uncle Toby, 47, from Swansea. Don't worry about dropping me, Ed. I am absolutely shit-faced. Still can't help it. I still think I might want a baby. Like, there's just moments in life I'm just grabbing at signs from the universe. Think, oh, maybe I should have a baby. It's happened to me the other day. I was in the queue in a shop to buy a new light bulb because I'm not a student anymore. My light bulb had gone. I'm not going to sit there in the dark for 6 months. So I was in the queue, and in the queue in front of me was a man with a baby. He was a dad. You've got to give people the benefit of the doubt in that scenario. You can't go storming in going, excuse me, is that your baby? You've just got to admit it probably is, right? And on the wall, there were these light switches. They weren't real light switches. They were just, like, designer ones to show you what they would look like on the wall. And the baby was playing with them. Was going, ah-da-da-da-da-da-da, playing with them. And the dad was going, yeah, try that one. And was going, ah-da-da. I saw that. I thought, ooh, that's quite sweet. Maybe I want a baby. There's something in that tableau that I quite like. Maybe I want a baby. Am I broody? Is this brood? And then the dad walked off with the baby, and I wandered over to the light switches and started playing with them. I thought, oh, no. That's what I wanted.
Well good, Ed. And the first subject is health. Ed Campbell.
So, in the last 3 years, I've lost 6 stone in weight. Cheers. No, too late. A lot of audiences like to clap, they like to whoop, they like to cheer. You guys just went with staring, and that is absolutely fine. That's all right, that's fine. I think I might have made a mistake as well, because I'm not as happy now. I thought health would equal happiness. Turns out the happiest moments of my life were just me, sat on the sofa, in my pants, laughing through a mouthful of cake. I'm a more worried person now. I think, am I eating the right thing? Am I exercising enough? I went for a run the other day. I accidentally swallowed a fly. I had to Google how many calories is a fly. 6 per serving, if you're wondering. Weirdly now, I feel like an undercover fat person who's been secretly sent into the lair of the thin people to gather information on what those crazy villains are doing, and then I feed it back to the fat people. You've got to feed it back. We eat anything. So I'm in there just going, what are these thin people up to? What's going on? Oh, interesting. That guy's got a packed lunch, but he's actually eating it at lunchtime. Well, I have never seen that before. He's not just made it in the morning and then eaten it on the bus on the way to work. And then bought chips at 1. That is intriguing resolve. Ah, they're using phrases I've never heard before. Things that only thin people say. I think I've got some biscuits. I'll just go and check. Who's living their life like that? Who buys biscuits and then forgets that they exist? That is unacceptable. I'm so deep undercover, I've met the bosses of the thin mafia. People who don't even like food that much. You go, oh, no, I'm not really a food person, you know. No, it's not. It's more of a fuel, isn't it? It helps me get through the day. If you don't like food, then what are you thinking about all of the time?
Thank you very much, Dan Bob.
And the topic is relationships. There you go.
I am in a serious relationship. That's what she makes me say. Serious. So I'm in a serious relationship. This is my partner. Sounds like you're in a law firm, is what it sounds like. Serious relationship. Sounds like a disease. How's your relationship? I'm sorry to say it's serious. I'm not in a serious relationship. I'm in a silly relationship. You tell me if you think this sounds like a serious relationship. The other day, me and my girlfriend were having a discussion about the Beatles. At some point during that discussion, she forgot George Harrison's name. Now, she previously knew George Harrison's name, but her brain did something to her that all of our brains do to us now and again. It just deleted a fact for no reason. And it panics you when that happens. You think, am I going mad? Am I going senile? You go on a spiral of panic and worry, and I could see she was worried. And any good boyfriend in that situation would have told her George Harrison's name, and I am a good boyfriend. But I am a better comedian. So what I chose to do in that situation was write down every guess that she took at George Harrison's name. I have memorised them, and I'm now going to recite them to you, the good people of Mock the Week. Here we go. Guess number 1. John, Paul, Ringo, John. There it is. She thought there might have been 2 Johns in the Beatles. Maybe the Beatles were a double John band. And as if we'd remember them in that order, we wouldn't go John, Paul, Ringo, John. We wouldn't bookend it with Johns. It would be John, John, Paul, Ringo, John, John, or Paul, Ringo and the Johns. She knew that was wrong immediately. I squawked in her face. Guess number 2. John, Paul, Ringo, Joseph. Hello, Joseph. What are you doing in there? I didn't realise the Beatles were a nativity-themed band. 3 guys with 60s hairdos, 1 child with a tea towel tied to his head. Again, she knew it was wrong. I was on the floor already. Then her brain gave her a little free pass, gave her a clue, gave her the surname. Thank you, brain. John, Paul, Ringo, Tony Harrison. Oh, Tony, you're not part of this conversation. Please remove yourself from the vicinity immediately. I said, you're half right. You're half right. I promise you, her next guess was Harrison Ford. Thank you very much.
Bravo. Very good. The first subject is exercise. Who wants to come in that? Ed.
I ran the London Marathon this year. Thank you. That was an absolutely amazing reception from you guys. Thank you very much. There was an awkward pause. 2 people thought, I better fill that and go, ooh, and the rest of you collectively just went with, well, we could not give a shit. Thank you very much. We saw that on television. Thousands of people did that. Also, it was in April. How about you? Move on with your life. Also, of course you ran the London Marathon. You are a white middle-class man in his early 30s. That's what you do. And you're right, that is the most basic first step on the most basic posh man life ever. I can live my whole life on tracks now if I wanted to. That's how it goes. Marathon, marriage, kid, sleep with the au pair, divorce, Crocs, death. That's it. Did it for charity, because I'm a great guy. And you sort of have to. The charity I did it for was a type 1 diabetes charity. Before you think I'm too good of a human being, we'll let you know that I am type 1 diabetic, so I will see that money eventually. Very much playing the long game with that cash. Didn't actually enjoy the marathon, though, for one specific reason. Every few miles, there was groups of people stood there with blue rubber gloves on, with globs of Vaseline on the ends of their fingers, like this. Now, at the time, I had no idea that they were employed by the marathon. You're supposed to run past them, take Vaseline, rub it on any areas of chafage. I had no idea they were supposed to be there. To me, that just looked like some sort of horrendous motivational technique. You better keep running, boy. You better pick up the pace. Otherwise, it's examination time. You got an appointment with Dr. Fingers. Thank you very much.
And the first topic is music. Who wants to come out? Ed.
I like heavy metal music. Yeah, none of you believe me, that's fine. I do not look like I like heavy metal music. I don't have a heavy metal face. I have what is known as a Coldplay face. That's what I've got. Drink it in, basic bitch, indie white man face. That's me. Other metalheads don't trust me either. I can't go to the gigs because I look like an undercover Mormon on a conversion mission. Look like I'm going to start sneaking up behind people in the crowd going, hey, pretty rockin' band, right? Yeah, you know who else was rocking? Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour. Yeah. I love the guitarist. Yeah, love the guitarist. Look, long hair and a beard. You know who else had long hair and a beard? Right again, Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour. What's this we're all doing? Oh, head banging. Yeah, no, cool. I do head banging too, but when I do it, it's to get rid of gay thoughts. Can't go to the gigs as well, because I don't know how to do the things that everyone does in the gigs. I feel out of place. Heavy metal gigs, everyone does this. That is the sign of the beast, the sign of the devil. It shows you're part of the community. I'd never done that before. I feel too self-conscious, but I went to a gig recently, got brave enough to go there. Suddenly, my arm shot up in the air. I was like, oh, my God, I'm doing it. I'm actually joining in for the first time. I looked up, and what my hand was actually doing was this. That is not the sign of the beast. That is an uncle saying the burgers are ready at a barbecue. That's what that is.
The first subject is courage. Who's coming out? Ed Gamble.
There it is, the traditional representation of courage. I got called a pussy the other day. You're all just going to sit there and go, yeah. But no, right, I agree with the sentiment. I don't agree with the choice of word. I think that is a wrong choice of word to use, because essentially what that person was saying is they were saying, I think you're so cowardly, I feel justified in comparing you to the vagina. I think that is very unfair on the vagina. There is nothing cowardly about that thing. That is the bravest thing in the universe. It pushes whole humans out of it. Words I'd use to describe that? Hardy. Rugged. It's the biological equivalent of a Timberland boot. What do we use when we want to talk about bravery? The balls. They got balls. Big balls. I think that's wrong, because I can only speak for my own balls, but they shy away from any sign of danger. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be a dangerous situation. It can just be a slightly cold bath. You're like, oh, I'm ready for this bath. Here I go down to the water's edge. They're having none of it. They're like, before they even get to the meniscus, absolutely not. Climb back inside him. Go, 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 go. Don't forget the bag. Don't forget the bag. Fold it up. Fold up the bag real tight. My balls are pussies.
And the topic is diet.
So, my last job was handing out chocolate bars in a Dubai hotel. I tried to stay healthy. I listened to all the wrong people about health, though. I started reading health blogs, like health bloggers. They're all the same sorts of people. They're sort of posh young women in their early 20s. They say things like, first thing in the morning, to energise yourself, why not have hot water and lemon? Hot water and lemon to energise... There is no way hot water and lemon is energising me in the morning. The only way that would happen would be if I squeezed a lemon in my eye and poured the water on my dick. I do not want your hot water and lemon because I am not a kettle that needs descaling. The other thing they all talk about is something that I like to call the cauliflower conspiracy. I don't know if you've heard about this. This is the idea that if you like to have anything unhealthy, you need to replace that immediately with cauliflower. The worst offender for this is cauliflower pizza. I'll tell you what this is. Right, they say, oh, it's like normal pizza, but you take away the dough base and you replace it with a disc of mashed up cauliflower. So, nothing like normal pizza. I made one, it took me 6 hours. First thing you've got to do is grate the cauliflower. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, the cauliflower is not a shape for grating. It's not a shape, is it? It's just chaos. It's everywhere. It's so fragile, you touch it to metal, it immediately explodes. It's like you're in the middle of Frozen. You end up with this vegetable dandruff, you put it in the microwave, you warm it up, that makes it really wet, you have to get the moisture out of the cauliflower, then you have to pat it down into a rough base shape. Then they say, choose the topping. Whatever you like, you can choose whatever topping you like, and I think we can agree I had lost most of my day up until this point. So I thought, I'm going to claw a victory back right at the last minute, so the topping I chose was a whole Domino's.
Thank you very much. Lines you wouldn't hear in a costume drama.
Henry Tudor. But why did he chew her?
The Zulus have us surrounded, sir. They're standing on the horizon waving their spears. Wait a minute. Those aren't spears.
Mr. Darcy, I do believe you've poked me on Facebook.
So, King Henry, I'm your 5th wife. Hang on, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, but... Oh, shit.
And for the latest news from the big house, tune in to Pride and Prejudice Extra, starting now on BBC Three.
I worked for the Duke of Wellington when he invented the Wellington boot, and the Earl of Sandwich when he invented the sandwich. But I suppose my happiest time was working for Lord Strap-on.
Let me read the signal from the Victory. Are you paying too much for your car insurance?
Ah, the Duke! My daughter has been itching to meet you. Chlamydia!
The points at the end of that round go to Frankie, Hugh and Lucy.
Pretty sure you're looking for the one-armed man.
To be honest, should we not wait for Adam to put his foot back?
Yeah. Probably should have done that one last, really.
Problem.
I kind of backed myself into a corner. Quick impression, Heather Mills in the morning.
I could not stop looking at that then. Was that really weird? I don't know why, I was just like, oh, the leg, look at the leg. I don't know what I was thinking, just the leg. I wanted to touch the leg.
It was a nice joke to do, but I think most of you kind of went, ah!
The thing is, we all know Adam's only got one leg, everyone else don't now. He's hurting himself!
OK.
I think you're looking for the bloke with one leg.
The Met Office have issued a weather warning. They've told the weather not to do that again, or there'll be trouble.
Temperatures could rise to 31 degrees. Shit, I've left my baby in the car!
And finally, a warning to hay fever sufferers. Don't come sneezing near me or I'll rip your face off.
So, here's the summary. Monday shite, Tuesday shite, Wednesday shite, Thursday bollocks.
The humidity's rising. The barometer's going low. Tonight, for the first time, just about 10:30, it's going to start raining men.
The outlook's bright for the weekend. I've got 3 grams of coke in my pocket and my wife's on holiday.
Well, let's go to Carol on the roof of Television Centre. She's not meant to be there. She's just a bit depressed.
This part of the country is going to stay hot and wet for quite some time because that's where my girlfriend lives. Oh, yeah.
So, it's going to be between 17 and 21, but Berlusconi won't date older than that.
It was raining cats and dogs last night.
I should know. I was throwing them off my roof.
It's going to be -12 this weekend, so if you're in Newcastle, you might need a bigger T-shirt.
It's going to be cloudier tonight. I love those German birds.
What do you care what the weather's going to be like? You look shit in all your clothes.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely wretched, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead.
He felt a swelling down there. Shouldn't have tried to bang a beehive.
He took her hand in his and squeezed it. Now, he thought, I wonder where the rest of her body is.
I want to role play. I'll be a prince from a mythical land, and you be your sister.
He looked at the tattoo of Chinese writing on her back. He didn't know what it meant, but he did know she'd put out on a first date.
Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
Things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
I am the little girl from the opening ceremony. This is my real voice.
That gymnast is so supple. If my wife could do that, we'd still be together.
Next, the rhythmic gymnastics. You might want to start beating out your own rhythm at home.
That English track team is awesome!
And it's gold for Ireland!
Well, that'll be low marks for synchronicity, but high marks for execution. Clean shot to the head, backwards off the board, pool full of blood, magnificent.
And it...
Go on, go again, man, go again. Do it.
And there's fuck all for Ireland!
No, I'm not letting you off for the last Ireland joke. You're not getting on again for the rest of the show. You are not doing another one for the rest of the show, all right?
You've just been
Oh, let's look at the clock. It's more interesting than the show jumping.
The one thing we're all thinking during the Olympics, doesn't Claire Balding look like Eddie Izzard?
Nobody can touch this Russian gymnast except their coach and their uncle.
And here comes...
Hugh Davis.
Well, what a morning. We've got medals in the Yingling, Tiddly and Poe.
Chinese athlete with number 36 in his chest. That means he's a chicken chow mein.
And here...
And the French have 4 faults. Their language, their food, underarm hair, and the fact that they are French.
A surprise in the canoeing, where the British athlete has gone missing.
It was after I heard the buzzer that I realised there was one thing I hadn't heard at the Olympics, right, was fuck it.
The end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Greg.
Now we play a round called I'm So Brexcited and I Just Can't Hide It. This game involves Nish and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is the movies. Who wants to come in that? Nish.
I'm a big movie fan, and I'm very excited that there's going to be a new James Bond. Now, my pick personally would be Idris Elba. I think he'd be an amazing James Bond, but some people are very unhappy. I was reading an article about this, and the first comment under the article started with the words, "This is not a race thing." Which immediately makes you think, it's definitely a race thing. This is not a race thing, it's just James Bond is not black. Now, I've got terrible news for this person. James Bond is not real. He's not a real person. He doesn't exist. If you're talking about fidelity to Ian Fleming's original character, Daniel Craig has a smartphone and a laptop, and in one of the Pierce Brosnan films, he drove an invisible car. So it might be a bit late if you just suddenly become a stickler for canon. And the second comment started with the words, "This is political correctness gone mad. This is the ethnic minority lobby getting their way again." And hey, we all know if the ethnic minority lobby has been campaigning for anything, it is for a black James Bond. People have been out in the streets. We want a black James Bond now. We don't care about police brutality. All we care about is 007. Hashtag Black Bonds Matter. We will settle for a Mexican, maybe. And who can forget the immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King? I have a dream that one day a black man will play a fake spy.
Thank you very much. Well done, Nish. The first subject is politics. Oh, Nish.
So, we're living through a real period of political instability, both here and in America. And in the last couple of months, some unlikely saviours have emerged. Tony Blair is considering a return to frontline politics, and Chelsea Clinton is contemplating a run for the Senate in 2020. And to those people, let me just say this. Maybe just leave it. If you want to turn your public opinion around, the way to do it is philanthropy, right? And let's look at someone who has turned their public opinion around through philanthropy. Look at Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, for the last 15 years, with his wife Melinda, has spent all his time trying to fight the spread of infectious disease. I don't understand the science behind what's going on. From what I can tell, Bill Gates is trying to bribe AIDS to fuck off, right? And we like him for that. But in the 90s, we hated Bill Gates because of the paperclip. Basically, there was a paperclip, and you turn on Word and the paperclip would appear, and it would ask you if you're writing a letter, but you weren't writing a letter. So you're like, I hate you, Bill Gates! I'm gonna buy a Mac forever! And there are people genuinely putting their money where their mouth is in regards to philanthropy. Look at J.K. Rowling. We all need to be very nice to J.K. Rowling from now on, because she may be about to be all we've got economically. We have no manufacturing sector. Our service industry has been driven by mass migration from the EU. After Brexit, our entire economy may depend on the adventures of a fake wizard that technically ended in 2007, right? We got the play, we got the films, we got the film tour. Can we do a play tour? JK, please write another book. Wales is sinking. Maybe something about Harry trying to get his finances in order in his 30s, like Harry Potter and the Mystery of the Fixed Rate ISA.
Thank you very much, Nish. This game involves Nish and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is health. Who wants to come out? Nish.
I had a bit of a health emergency last year. I was doing the washing up and I cut my hand. I was washing up and I pushed my hand into a glass. The glass shattered and it slashed my hand here, and I had to go to hospital. And let me tell you this, the NHS staff are incredible. They're really nice to me. They're really sweet. One of them called me a brave boy. Which is good, because I was being one, so I don't know what you're laughing at, OK? I'm the one with the badge. Anyway, before I did that, I did something which I probably regret doing. I called NHS 111. Now, if you don't know what this service is, it's a service the government has brought in to replace NHS Direct. So if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you're supposed to dial 111 on your phones. Now, I'm sure that these people are very nice, but based on my experience, they have proportionately less skill than their numerical value compared to 999, because it was the blind leading the blind. At one point, she said, "How is the blood?" And I said, "Red," because I had no idea. Then she said, "Is there a lot of blood?" I said, "Yes," because there was a lot of blood. And she said, "Is there enough to fill a mug?" I've got no idea. I don't wish to brag. I have a lot of different mug sizes in my house. Also, while this was happening, I was just panicking. I wasn't decanting the blood in the hope it would be poured back into my body at a later date. Then she said, "Is the blood flowing or oozing?" I said, "I have no idea what the difference is between those two things is." And she said, "Oh, there's a difference." And I was like, "I'm not getting into a semantic debate with you while blood is gushing out of my hand." And she just went, "Gushing, thank you very much."
Well done, Nish Kumar. Okay, so that leaves Nish. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is race.
I'll take this one, Reece. Difficult and interesting time to be a non-white person living in Britain right now. But I think things are improving, especially to be a non-white comedian. Because 10 years ago, I got some advice from a former agent. She said, "Nish, you should stop mentioning on stage that you're not white." And I was like, people are gonna know. I'm not exactly flying under the radar race-wise here. So a couple of weeks later, I got offered an audition in a sitcom. Now, that part required me to do what was cheerfully referred to in the script as the accent, right? Weren't talking about French, were they? Now, when that came in, I said, "There's absolutely no way that I'm going to do that. It's cheap, it's Uncle Tom, it's selling out my entire cultural heritage." And she said, "This is the problem with you, Nish. You take too high-minded approach. You'll never be successful in comedy because you will never do comedy that relates to the man in the factory." And when she said that, I said, "I don't really relate to your paradigm of the man in the factory. I think what you're trying to say is that I should appeal to as high a percentage of the British population as possible. But in the 80s, we shifted from a manufacturing to a service-based economy. So actually, if you wanted to talk about most of the British public, what you should have said is the man who works in the shop or the man who works in a hotel." And she said, "I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about."
Thank you very much, Nish. Points in around go to Reece James. Come back. And the topic is school.
That last bloke was a bit weird, wasn't he? Anyway, I went back to my old school the other day, first time in 30 years. I took a note. Teacher said, "So, Jones, what have you done with your life?" I said, "Oh, I'm just Britain's top Ofsted inspector." They were a lot nicer to me after that. I was there for the funeral of my old science teacher. They asked me to say a few words, so I did. Method. We put the coffin in the crematorium. Observations. It burned with an orangey bright flame. Conclusion. No more homework.
Well done. Point out to the Mr. Jones. Very good. Mr. Back. There we go. First subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And that's a wonderful sleight of hand from the Welsh fly half. He's picked up the loose ball, he's tucked it back in his shorts, and nobody seems to have noticed.
I can see Nico Rosberg's helmet.
Apologies, after 15 years in this job, I've just been told it's not pronounced croquette.
And after that victory, they'll be dancing on the street of Samoa tonight. 100 metres in 4 hours, 26 minutes, and that is meter reading at its very best.
Now, Garry Kasparov, he's going to move his pawn. And he's done it just in time. His wife's home, but he's got it under the bed.
Welcome to beach volleyball. The players are currently getting changed into their kits while their mums hold a towel up in front of them.
And Shane Warne will be laughing on the other side of his face after that surgery.
I'd like to apologise. What you're watching is, in fact, judo, and not, as I said earlier, timed pyjama cuddling.
Well, this should be relatively easy for Rory McIlroy. Oh, how has he done that? All he had to do was say, get a Santander 1, 2, 3 account.
Kasparov toying with his bishop. Oh, no, his wife's home, she's caught him!
Ah, that pot was remarkable. But now I've got a major case of the munchies.
We'd just like to refute the idea that the BBC has lost coverage rights of all good sports. We now cross to a girl playing noughts and crosses against a clown.
What a thrilling cricket match.
Left hand, big right hand again, big left hand. Why has no one put these gloves in pairs? What the fuck is a furlong?
OK.
Things you wouldn't hear on a property show.
So, it's a 2 up, 2 down. It's unusual, but those are the testicles I was born with.
Welcome to the show. We'll be looking at houses that have been designed by someone's nan. Yes, it's grand designs.
Of course, finding something in London on your budget was very, very difficult. So this property does come with a bit of a commute. Welcome to Stoke.
All property is theft. Good night.
Bit mean, but we've put together a montage of first-time buyers being told about stamp duty for the first time.
I begged Gary for an extension. He went and got a conservatory. I actually meant a penis enlargement.
This week, Bert has bought a yurt. And that sentence alone makes this the most fun show we've ever done.
Hi, I'm Kirsty Allsop, and this week I'll be patronising more millennials. You can't have dreams and a second bedroom. Wake up.
Well, this used to be a railway station, but there haven't been any trains here for nearly 40 years. It's Haywards Heath on Southern Railway.
And Simon has converted this railway carriage into his very own office, just by yelling into his mobile phone like an arsehole.
This house was built on an ancient burial ground, which is why the episode's been hosted by me, the ghost of a hunchback Victorian boy trying to explain fixed-rate mortgages.
Now, this next property is about £50,000 over Philip and Susan's budget. Luckily, though, Philip's grandmother has just died.
Loads of notorious people live on these here branches. Piers Morgan, Katie Hopkins, Donald Trump. So, what? Escape to the country? No, this is escape to the...
So, if you want to brighten up your kitchen, turn the light on.
Susan turned her 2-bedroom house into a 10-bedroom house by putting a bed in every room.
I'm Danny Dyer. Welcome to Let's Do This Gaff Up.
Well, there you go. Immediately, you can see how much roomier it looks without the old lady and the oxygen cylinders.
OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is health. Who wants to come in on that? Annie Parsons.
Leslie Ash. Now, she's just got compensation, didn't she? Because she got MRSA. The reason she was in hospital, right, was apparently she'd punctured a lung and broken 2 ribs during energetic sex. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking she was doing it wrong. If somebody said to me, would you like to have sex, but it could end up in you puncturing your lung, I think I'd go, oh, you go ahead, I'll sort myself out.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is George Bush. Who wants to come in?
Oh, I'll go. Well, what can I say about George Bush? He's doing a tremendous job and he's enormously popular right now. In the last poll in the United States, he came in just behind testicular cancer. He's the only president I can remember who wears an American flag pin on his lapel. Why? So he can remember what country he's in charge of? Ladies and gentlemen of America, he's always banging on about 9/11, right? 9/11, 9/11. Or, as the rest of the world knows it, 11/9. We're the only people who date that way. America's so arrogant because we put the month first. We think everybody knows what we mean. Imagine how perplexing that is to people in France. 9/11. What happened on November 9th? That was a good day. I got a hand job. Why are they crying all the time? Thank you.
Frank. OK, that leaves us with Frankie and Fred. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is modern men. Who wants to come in on that? Fred McCauley.
There's a trend for modern young men now to get waxed. I did recently have my legs waxed. I have to say it was for charity. And my pals were saying, have you ever had that done before, Macaulay? And I'm going, no. Well, it could be painful. So I went along. I was ticket number 14. There were 13 ladies in front of me getting their legs waxed. And I was watching them with interest. And it seemed to be no bother at all. The wax is going on. It's kind of, oh, Joanne. What is it, Tess? Who's picking the kids up? Oh, the au pair will get them. Nothing to it, I think. I got up there. The wax was on. What I didn't know is that women, when they're getting their legs waxed, have epidurals beforehand. I mean, I'm not tempted, you know, to shave other parts of my anatomy, you know. I've been lonely and fed up in hotel rooms, but I've never once thought, I think I'll get the sharpest thing in my toilet bag out and apply it to the wrinkliest part of my anatomy. And I'm not talking about my elbows.
Fred McCauley. OK, let's see what we've been left with for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. Children.
What an unbelievably sinister photograph. Don't worry, this is light-hearted whimsy. I've got a wee baby now, he's 9 months. I'm starting to get a bit fucking sick of him, to be honest. I went to the birth, and going to the birth, it really does bring home the wonder, the miracle, I suppose, that is contraception. Seriously, don't go. It's like watching the deleted scenes from Platoon. I got a wee daughter now, she's 4, and the other day, this is true, we're sitting having breakfast, and my daughter goes, Daddy, what's the best thing in the world? So I didn't even have to think about it, right? I said, darling, you're the best thing in the world. Didn't even have to think about it. It's definitely you. And she sat there for a bit, and then she went, for me, it's sausages.
Ladies and gentlemen, that round, the points go to Frankie and Greg. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Holly, which category would you like?
Please, may I have home news?
OK, home news it is. The answer is poultry, axes and pills. What is the question?
Is this the ingredients for the hardest ever episode of Ready, Steady, Cook?
Is it what gave my sister the hen night she wasn't expecting?
Is it what 3 things are inadvisable to smuggle up your arse?
What are the only 3 ways I can still get the horn?
Is it what is the actual title of an aisle in Aldi?
Is it what accessories come with the Charlie Sheen action figure?
What 3 things do you need if you're going to cook cock ovalium?
Is it a night out of Bill Cosby? Is it what respectively makes you a threat to vegans, trees and headaches?
Is it what ingredients does Heston Blumenthal need to make a lemon meringue pie?
What are the only 3 things the BBC haven't managed to build a bake-off style show around?
What 3 things do you need if you're going to make an abattoir where the chickens have a choice?
That is... Wow, that is dark. So I put it to you again, Mac Cluckerson. Shall I do it or shall you do it? Then you know the correct answer.
Is it what are you allowed to have a plastic... OK, what are you allowed to get a free plastic bag with if you're buying? I didn't say this right.
Say it one more time.
OK. Because it's really technical. Because it's like, it's... What are you allowed... What? No, I can't do it.
You have all the bit...
What are the exceptions? OK, I've got it.
For which items?
What are the exceptions to the free plastic bag? No. What are
I've got it! Okay. What 3 products would exempt you from the 5p charge on a plastic bag?
That's absolutely right.
I was going to say that!
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Nigel, which category would you like?
I'll take sport.
OK, cool. Sport. The topic is sport. The answer is 12.8 million. What is the question?
Is it the average size of an Asian family?
Is it, now he's PM, how much would Boris Johnson fetch if he was sold to a stud farm?
Is it how much Dara O'Brien should be paid for hosting Mock the Week?
No, stop. I couldn't take that kind of pay cut. My children need wine.
Is it how many times when trying to buy alcohol have I had to say the phrase, would a 17-year-old have a nectar card?
it... How many years has the last 3 years felt like?
Is it, if Amazon made 12.8 million, how much would they have left after they'd paid their tax?
Is it what does Kim Jong-un's heart rate leap to if he senses biscuits?
Is it how many men on Twitter will see my Olga cockpit as an invitation?
Not just men.
Bring your own cock.
I always do.
It's funny when she brings a cock. Yes, I bring the place I brought my cock and didn't get a laugh at all. All right, what is the actual question?
Is it how much does Lewis Hamilton claim back in petrol receipts at the end of a Formula 1?
Is it how many people watch the rugby?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Hugh. Very good. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many people watched England in the Rugby World Cup final, which they lost. This is the news that on Saturday, 12.8 million people tuned in to see South Africa defeat England in Yokohama. Did you watch the final? Yes?
Yeah, although, you know, it was difficult, wasn't it? It was England against South Africa, the Rainbow Nation. I haven't watched a lot of rugby. Where was Zippy and Bungle?
He could put the rugby ball in his mouth and zip it up and run.
Wait, sorry, South Africa won the Rugby World Cup?
Yes, they did.
According to Russian television, we won 61-0.
The thing is that it's just like watching the way they spoke after all the players spoke after it. It's so different. There's such a different level of how eloquent they are. The rugby players after it are just like, we were powered by the gust of 1,000 winds. We took heed. A nation behind us. We took heed and we battled. You ask a footballer, a footballer could have won the World Cup. And you go, how did you think that went? And they go, yeah, well, basically, we just put our circle in that rectangle more than the foreigners. Be like, eh?
What toy is expected to be a big seller this year?
It's a kind of plastic unicorn.
It's a plastic unicorn. That makes it sound almost pretty and beautiful, doesn't it? That makes it sound like a really lovely thing that would be charming and delightful. Here's the...
It's so beautiful.
That is so lovely.
It's like somebody's put LSD in the kettle at the My Little Pony factory.
Yes, this is Poopsie the unicorn. The idea is that, right, you feed the unicorn, right, and then the unicorn, it passes through the unicorn system, and then you have a little trough of the stuff here, and you add some powder to the trough, and that makes a special unicorn thing. You squeeze it into the unicorn. Let's hope that I've tightened it up correctly.
Don't force feed it. Don't force feed it, darling.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you mean? You're making unicorn pate?
Yeah.
Come on, Dara, we want to see this unicorn shit.
You didn't even ask a unicorn if it wanted a bottle.
Okay, so I think it's in the unicorn now, and then through. Now, let me see if this works now.
Oh, my God. Quite a lot of it's coming out of its nose.
Yeah, by the way, you should also know it's got a heart-shaped anus, which...
That's not normal, Reese. Don't expect that.
OK, and then some stage when you give it a bit of a slosh around,
You're supposed to burp it first.
I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm sorry. It is
feels
awkward.
really abusive.
It's a plastic. It's all. We can anthropomorphise things too much, I feel.
Christmas is here.
Hey, kid.
This unicorn should go to a doctor about the colour of that.
Yes. So
pretty high tech, isn't it? This thing
is amazing, and it's so it's the sense of wonder. from the uterus. And the idea is you add this substance that comes out of its anus, then you add some chemicals to it, and then magically, in a type of unicorn magic only known to every parent in the world, because we've been doing it constantly for the last year, it becomes slime. It comes out, and it becomes 15 minutes later, it becomes slime.
Wow.
But you would glitter into it.
What about all the kids whose parents can't afford one of these, but the kids still desperately want it? They're going to have to stick a cornetto on Grandad and give him some laxatives.
The question I was looking for, what? Our next round is called This Is the Answer. What is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Nathan, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
OK, your category is home news. The answer is trains, toilets and celebrities. What is the question?
Is it, if you're going to make a sex tape on public transport, what 3 things do you need?
What 3 flavours come through when you're tasting English wine?
Is it, according to the coalition agreement, what 3 things do the Lib Dems have responsibility for?
Is it name 3 things I've left my umbrella in?
Is it 3 things you're probably best off not to lick clean?
Is it, what is the name of Thomas the Tank Engine's no-holds-barred autobiography?
Is it what Peter Andre says when he's asked what his daily routine is?
Our trains, our toilets and our celebrities!
Is it what...
High-pitched but not Australian anymore.
Our trains, our toilets, our celebrities!
I went to a voice coach to get rid of my Australian accent and I can't help thinking she's done something wrong.
I've been over in this country for a while, so I sometimes slip into both fucking accents. Our train's got them a 6-pack. I don't miss my jeans, though. And then obviously the celebrities are making the money for the kids.
Does anyone have another answer?
What do we do better than Morocco?
OK, can we have correct answer?
I think I've got it.
Oh, not the build-up to the correct answer, but go on.
Is it name 3 things I've puked up on at the Edinburgh Festival?
I know the answer, Dara. I'll give you the real answer, Dara.
Will you give me the real answer?
What are the 3 main talking points on a saga holiday?
Is it?
Is it 3 things that are full of shit?
What's it on the Peter Andre thing? Where it makes the money for the children. That was it.
Is it?
No.
What 3 things were most complained about at the Queen's Jubilee?
If you can do that in a proper voice.
OK. But 3 things were most What 3 things were most complained about at the Queen's Jubilee?
Very good. Thank you very much, Chris. That was very good. OK, the first subject tonight is unlikely lines to hear in an episode of Doctor Who.
Between series, I paint the TARDIS red and sell coffee.
Yes, Doctor. I am your arch nemesis. You may also recognise me as Giuseppe DeMarco from EastEnders. And my many walk-on parts in Casualty as Wounded Man.
Looks like we've materialised in the 19th century. Oh no, it's Glasgow 2007.
This is not a waste of time. You are a Time Lord. Have you ever given money to the Labour Party?
I'm here to save the Earth, but as a doctor, I won't be working evenings or weekends.
K9, stop humping the toaster.
Welcome to my Dalek poetry reading. This one is called Daffodils. Exterminate daffodils!
The subject is media. Who wants to come in on that? Jack.
You hear the weirdest things on news reports. I was watching one a couple of months ago about the Californian forest fires. I genuinely heard a man say that apparently 300 mobile homes have been destroyed. Now, I don't know whether there are that many advantages to a mobile home, if any, but one of the main ones, the big selling point of the mobile home, is that you're not really tied down to an area, especially if the said area is on fire. I also saw the most ludicrous one ever, which was a guy on the news, a so-called expert, say that apparently obesity is now a bigger threat to this country than Al-Qaeda. It's definitely not. What would you rather have sat opposite you on the train on your way home? Some mental guy with a beard and like a 100-yard stare with a rucksack full of Semtex? Or just a jolly little fat kid with a rucksack full of Quavers? That's not me, like, belittling obesity, because actually my mum has quite a lot of issues with her weight. She uses those dieting pills, although I did have to point out to her the other day they don't work if you butter them.
Oh, and big news, exciting news, though, for homeowners. Exciting news for homeowners.
homeowners.
Oh, yeah, you can kill burglars now. I think that's the gist of it. I think that's it, I'm not sure. You can put bear traps around your house and hear Yelp in the middle of the night.
I think basically a slapstick rule should apply. If it goes you're fine. If you kill the guy, not so much.
Yeah. You're allowed to be proportionate in your violence towards burglars, but not grossly proportionate. So, if what you're doing to the burglar could feature in one of the Saw movies...
You want to go with Laurel and Hardy films, ideally.
Exactly.
Try and, you know, whack them by turning around with a ladder, you know, a bucket on their head.
Who has received a hero's welcome at the conference?
Batman!
Yes, the bit where Batman came. No, not Batman.
Oh, Boris.
Boris.
Boris Johnson said he wanted to be tough on crime. And this was after, apparently, he's had 6 bikes nicked. And you're wondering, has he really had 6 bikes nicked? Or 6 times he just hasn't got a clue where he in fact left?
What was the hero's welcome? What did they do for him?
So they kind of clapped. It wasn't like they threw rose petals or anything like that. They were just very happy to see him.
Well, a hero's welcome. You know, in Aladdin, when he's on the elephant and it's, hey, clear the way in the old bazaar. Hey, you, let us through. It's a bright new star. Oh, come be the first on the block to meet his eye. You know, you're gonna love this guy. That... The hero's welcome.
I defer to your definition of a hero's welcome. At no point did Boris arrive on, near, or confusingly like an elephant.
They also gave him, like they give everyone at the Tory Party conferences, they gave him a 2-minute standing ovation. That's what they give absolutely everyone, whatever they've said. It makes perfect sense. It's 30 seconds of clapping and a minute and a half for most of them to stand up.
You need a hat. Come on, I can do this. Come on.
Hinge and bracket over there. Okay. In other news, outside the party conference, what have hospital patients been asked to rate?
They have been asked to rate, apparently, exactly how good the A&E departments are. The question is, would you recommend this A&E department to your friends and family? I mean, what are you going to say to them? Oh, well, don't worry, you've had an accident. You're going to St Mark's, and that's got a cracking A&E.
It's the beginning of Casualty. Wasn't it? Just a man falling off his shed onto his garden rake and then crawling to his laptop to go on TripAdvisor.
Or just come home to your partner, square up and go, I'm going to send you someplace nice.
Well, I've never heard domestic violence put quite as charmingly as that. Yes, I know that they put don't know in. There's extremely likely, need or likely, no unlikely, likely, extremely don't know. Don't ask the people with concussion. How would you rate it? Cabbage? Banana? Mummy? Cabbage?
The people who give the lowest rating are dead. So the results are going to be unavoidably skewed.
That's going to be a very awkward conversation when they go, I'm sorry, we've lost him. Do you think he was satisfied with the result?
What are becoming less popular with children?
Is it pedos?
Yeah. You see? They were, in the 70s, they were very popular. It's clowns, but I would say they've never been popular with children. Who likes clowns? Do you like clowns?
Depends what sweets they got. Oh, sorry, clowns, not paedophiles.
It's the makeup. What are you hiding? Write a joke, you prick.
That's very harsh, because I have you know that is Dara.
There was a time where this career involved making your bones, you know, actually working the circuit, doing the Putlands thing, you know. You all just breezed in with your Edinburghs. Some of us had to daub on the paint and go out there and do 8 shows a week, honey. And Chuckles here is proud of that time he did. It was an academy for some of us. So put on the damn nose and shut up. And then I angrily turn on my giant shoes. Angrily spin on my giant shoes and twack away.
I always wondered why your car was so small. Now it makes complete sense.
There are less than 100 clowns now in Britain, apparently.
Yeah, less than 100 registered clowns.
Yeah.
Which brings up a whole horrible scenario of unregistered. Clowns that have somehow been struck off. Presumably their car stayed together and they weren't welcome anymore.
I hear you can do some unregistered clowning for you. Yeah, I can do unregistered clowning. What do you want? With the full face and the hair and everything? I only got one shoe, though.
I got to tell you, I'm a bit of a maverick. Sometimes the bucket won't have confetti, it'll just have boiling water.
I feel sorry for the new head of clown recruitment. Big shoes to fill. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I went for one of them. I got range.
Don't you worry, you're a very funny boy. I see you as my son on this team today. I'm flanked by my sons. That's why I've worn basically a nursery pattern on my... Just in case you get a bit nappy later on.
Me and Reece do look like we could be brothers, don't we?
Oh, don't do this, mate. I know where this is going, mate. I know I look like an ill you.
That is very harsh on yourself. You look like me if I died in a coal mine when I was 12.
Whatever, Ed, mate. Oh, I used to be fat, now I'm thin. I've been thin forever. Shut up.
Yeah, but yours is clearly for medical.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter.
I think you look a bit like Russian doll, you.
I've never been inside Ed. Not ruling it out?
OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is entertainment. Who wants to come in on that? Edburn.
I was watching a DVD the other day, horror DVD, Hostel Part 2, not a very good film. Should have twigged by the fact that it was a sequel to Hostel Part 1, also not a very good film. Hostel Part 1 is about men being tortured to death in an underground bunker for the pleasure of others. Hostel Part 2, women being tortured to death. Oh, they've really flipped it. Hostel Part 3, I imagine hermaphrodites up for the chop. Anyway, I'm about to watch this film, and before I watch it, I have to sit through the DVD piracy warning, which I think we can all agree is beginning to get on our collective tits. Oh, this music's so funky, it makes me want to obey the law. And it's the patronising nature of it. It's this thing of, you wouldn't steal a handbag, you wouldn't steal a car, so why would you steal a movie? I'm sitting there going, don't tell me what I wouldn't do. You don't know me. I am drunk at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in my pants, about to watch women be tortured to death in an underground bunker in Eastern Europe. You're telling me I wouldn't nick a poxy handbag? I think you don't know me very well at all, sir.
Now we play a round called This Isn't Just News, This is a Wheel of News. This game involves Michael, Mark, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner is the team I judge who produce the funniest stuff. Here we go. We spin the wheel. The first topic is relationships.
I think when you go on a date with someone, it's a bit like playing cards, isn't it? There's a couple of cards you let the other person see. There's also a couple of cards that you hold to your chest. Well, as you can see, I'm punctual and employed. I'm holding untidiness and sexual deviance. I actually lost my virginity to my mother's best friend. It was my father. It was the only time he ever told me he loved me. I ran into my dad the other day in a lap dancing bar. He was making good tips. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand about sex. You know, like nudie calendars. Nudie calendars? Who's wanking going, I can't believe it's Pancake Tuesday?
OK, let's spin the wheel again. And the subject is travel. Who wants to come in that? Russell.
I went to Hong Kong recently. It's fantastic. I was so giddy I did a gig there. I told my mum about it. I was like, I'm doing a gig in Hong Kong. She's like, oh, in English? Probably. Travel's becoming more and more scary, do you find that, you know? We look for terrorists now based on gender, ethnicity and behaviour. They must have come and go, are they shifty? Are they beige? And we don't need help being racist. We're very good at it as a nation. It's horrible. You know, when you get on a plane, you see someone who's vaguely foreign, you can't help but go, oh, God, he's a bomber. Oh, God, he's a bomber. And you know he's looking at me and go, fuck, he's in a boy band. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Don't chat about your lyrics. And we now have to take our shoes off in case there's bombs in there. It's fairly obvious who the shoe bomber is. I would imagine it's the man gingerly approaching like that.
Russell.
Travel.
OK, that leaves us with Mark and Michael. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is hotels. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll have a go. I've got a lot to say about hotels. I stayed in a terrible... I'm not allowed to mention it, but... honestly, such a depressing hotel. You know, you've got your Gideon Bible, your minibar. Minibar's a depressing word as well. It's a fridge, in fact. You know, if it was really a mini-bar, you'd have tiny people being sick outside. You know... And then, while I'm ranting, these people in the next room, this guy's having a party. Who has a party in a budget hotel? Went round, said, please turn the music down. The guy said, mate, we're having a party. I thought, yeah, it's not that I don't understand the situation here. I wasn't lying in bed at 2 in the morning thinking, oh, clinking glasses, laughter, deafening music. It's the mystery that's keeping me awake here.
Well done, Mark. OK, Michael, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Creates an interesting tone for your Joey birthday.
Hey! Yeah, Wales. Well, of course, they have their own language. This is really the thing. And they are very keen for people of Wales to learn it. So they have it up everywhere, all the vocab. But they have it not only on road signs, but they also have it on the road. So I was driving into Wales and it says slow, and then the Welsh for slow, which is araf. And I didn't know this, and I thought it said slow Arab. I thought, whoa! Whoa! Given the delicate global political situation, is this the best way to handle the terror threat? Have there been a meeting at the Welsh Assembly? We've got to do something about Al-Qaeda. It's only a matter of time before they make their move in the valleys. Any ideas? No? Not one? OK, well, while we're thinking, let's slow them down on the roads. Slow, Arab. Put your hands where I can bloody see them. Thank you.
At the end of that round, I'm going to give the points to Russell and Mark. Yes, the question I was looking for was how much is the government planning to cut from the benefits budget? This is the news that at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week, Chancellor George Osborne announced that in its drive to reduce the deficit, the government will cut a further £10 billion in the welfare budget by 2017. Where's that going to come from?
Well, just checking, they're not cutting friends with benefits, right?
That's still fine. That's still grand. Up to the age of 25.
It's quite difficult for them, isn't it, to know, because you're not allowed to like the people at the bottom end because they're poor and they're not helping themselves, so boo-boo to them. And you're not allowed to like the people at the top end because they're rich and they've got all the money and boo-boo-boo to them. And it's kind of getting squeezed more and more. Eventually, they're just going to put the recovery on one guy called Kevin Williamson of Warwick. It's all just going to be about him. We're really backing you to get this country back on track, Mr. Williamson. Holy shit!
There's a guy at home now in Warwick going, oh, God. I cannot believe this. This is the worst way for it to be broken to me.
If he's been correctly chosen, he will there going, I knew that. I knew it was going to come down to me. I knew all these people, and I'm the only one who can do this. Darling, get my jacket. I'm going to leave the house.
I'm on Euro Millions this weekend.
David Cameron was determined to change the image of the Conservative Party, wasn't he? He wanted to just stop people thinking of them as the nasty party. He's done that now, because they're now thought of as the ruthless bastards party.
I feel sorry for the Tory party, because apparently last week they were all sent a badge saying Britain can deliver, but none of them arrived.
What a cheek that David Cameron wants kids to stay at home until they're aged 25 when he can't even keep his own kid out of the pub aged 8.
I tried living with my parents, but it didn't really work out. Apparently I didn't see the no camping sign amongst the gravestones.
It didn't kill them. They're probably not dead. It's definitely a joke, all right? OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is sleep. Ebra.
Does anyone here sleep with someone who snores? Yes. Well, I envy you, because I lie awake next to someone who snores. My wife snores terribly, and part of what keeps me awake is lying there going, how do you sleep through this? I can't sleep through it, I'm only next to it. The noise is inside your head. And how come you can sleep through that? But the sound of me making a sandwich in our kitchen, that wakes you up. There is no way me making a sandwich makes more noise than you're making right now. She snores. So she said the cutest thing to me one time, though. She says, do I not sound like a kitten purring? Bless. No. You sound like a cat drowning in porridge. If I had a kitten made that noise, I'd put it down. Apparently she had her nose broken a couple of times when she was a kid. Didn't teach her, she's still bleeding snores.
Thank you very much, Dad. The first subject is health. Can I have somebody in that? Andy Parsons.
That's one hell of a gingerbread man, isn't it? According to my doctor, she was saying that I've got an underactive thyroid. She said one of the symptoms of this was lifeless hair. I said I may have had this for a while. Doctor said I was borderline overweight. I said, surely that also means I'm borderline ideal. She said apparently they're using testosterone injections in men to help them control their weight. And I was getting, you know, if you are full of testosterone, you know, chances are if you do see a donut, you'll rather more try and shag it than eat it. And apparently bald people, what they're saying in the research is that bald people aren't in fact bald, their hair is just sleeping. Which is definitely going to come as a shock when Wayne Rooney's hair wakes up and finds somebody else just moved in.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is parties. Who wants to come in? Josh Whittaker.
Looks like an exciting party, doesn't it? I got invited recently to a thing called a traffic lights party. I don't know if you've been invited to one of these. What it is, if you haven't been, it's a party for single people, and it is the bleakest thing humanity has ever done. It's a party where you go wearing the colour of a traffic light, depending on your availability to sleep with a stranger. So you wear red if you're not available, orange if it's a maybe, and green if you have absolutely no self-respect at all. I didn't go because I'm a driver, I know how traffic lights work, I know how that party's going to end. It's going to end with one girl stood in green, and then a queue of men with me at the back, slowly pushing forward, going, please be still green when I get there. Please be still green when I get there. Also, I'm a driver, I've driven with people. When they see orange, they'll just go, well, that's essentially green if I go out fast enough, isn't it? Who is wearing red to a traffic light party? If you're wearing red, you do not need to go to a traffic light party. What are your other options? Turning up at A&E and going, no, I'm fine, I just want to watch the carnage of others. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Well done, Josh. So that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is history.
(348 BC). The breakfast cereal Frosties is invented by Alexander the Great. (303 AD). St. George slays the dragon with his new invention, the sword. The other dragons offer him all the money for 20% of the company. 1896. H.G. Wells publishes the book The Time Machine. 1897, H.G. Wells writes the book The Time Machine. 2400 BC. The Chinese merchant Zhang Zhou, the man who discovered gunpowder, is buried on the outskirts of Peking, western Shanghai, and parts of Nepal. 1571. You have no new messages. And finally, 3642 AD. H.G. Wells is born.
Thank you very much. Well done. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And here comes the Irish team.
cold. Sorry, that is... Wow. You're getting buzzed to fuck for the rest of it. Okay. Sorry, Hugh. You'd like to go
It's
in
all
there?
right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
absolutely.
That's
Hugh.
fine.
Here with the first answer is Hugh.
And here come the Irish team.
Hello, I'm really sorry we didn't get in this year.
And up in the stand, the Uruguayan women with their chant, Uruguay, and I'm a gwirl.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts.
Jamie Vardy managed 4 shots in the first half, 3 sambucas and a Skittles vodka.
And that is a great shot from the Russian, but unfortunately the journalist has survived.
So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
And Sterling has taken a dive. That's it for financial news. Back to the football.
Well, it's official. England are out. And we can go back to identifying people with flags in their windows as racist.
Well, let's have a look at the Swedish bench. $12.99 from IKEA.
Oh, and that is a huge tackle. That has got to make it more difficult to rollerblade.
Brilliant goalkeeper, David De Gea. Midfield maestro, Mesut Ozil. Fast forward...
And he's nipped round the back and banged in an absolute screamer. This really is the best leaked sex tape in the history of football.
Well, we didn't think it was possible, but somehow Gareth Southgate has managed it. England eliminated before the group stage.
Well, at 2-1 down, Iran had to do something, so they brought on their secret weapon, a 14-megaton intercontinental ballistic missile.
If you've just tuned in to England versus Germany, what are you doing, mate? Love Island is on.
Well, it looks like semis for Croatia. I wish they had worn bigger shorts.
That's a shocking miss from Jesus. They are going to absolutely crucify him for that.
Next topic is things you wouldn't hear in a charity appeal.
British Red Cross. Just 3 adjectives to describe the average UKIP voter.
Stuck in a chair, barely able to move. Please help us get Dara walking again.
Peter Andre will be with us later. He's got a new single, and if our donations don't double, we'll let him perform it.
For just 50p, Dara O'Brien will toss you off in comic hand relief.
50p?
50p is no way I'm paying that.
God, give me a quid at least. I'm classy. Kiss him and everything.
Shoplifters Anonymous, helping people to help themselves.
If you're starting a family, why not consider adoption? But hurry up, otherwise it'll only be the ugly ones left.
With your money, I'm going to start a human organ delivery service called Liveroo.
Every day, these people walk up to 15 steps to get water. With your money, we can employ waiters at Nando's.
At the National Trust, for just £70 a year, you can have unlimited access to national treasures, like the gardens of Stour Head or the sumptuous interior of Judi Dench.
The thing with a disease like HIV is that many people are just ignorant. Most people don't even realise that HIV is just Roman for high five.
Robin needs clean, cold water and something nutritious to eat, because last night he got shit-faced.
These people are disease-ridden. They haven't had a shower for weeks. Donate now. Save a life in Magaluf.
This is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. This tiger has 3 dicks. How sick is that?
Give a man a duck and he'll feed himself for a week. Teach a man to duck and he'll avoid low-flying objects.
With your money last year, we took this homeless man and completely transformed him into a homeless woman.
And now on Comic Relief, it's time for some harrowing footage, as the cast of Birds of a Feather sing the hits from Greece.
Between you and me, those rescue cats can't even swim, let alone rescue anyone.
The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the only charity looking after the needs of Cockney women.
For just the price of a cup of coffee, we can get little Nagubu a cup of coffee.
Pale, sad and hungry. We're raising money for the Irish football team.
OK, game let and points go to Milton, Hugh and Angela. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Reece James, Donna Hughes and Ed Gamble. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and...
Things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
And that's a world record from Usain Bolt, 9.5 in one night.
Let's see what's happening in the velodrome. Yep. Cycling.
Oh, you won a gold. Oh, well done. What in? Canoeing? Oh, get a life, mate.
I've just come out of the diving pool. Look at the colour of my legs.
Look at that masterful control of his javelin. He really is the best streaker we've had all year.
Well, this is the pommel horse, and that plaintive neigh is the horse they are pommelling.
Time for the next fight now. He floats like a butterfly, he stings like a bee. He's got a black belt, he's got 5 black belts. OK, he's a wasp.
And if you'd like to enjoy our coverage of the dressage, we recommend MDMA.
And his penis has slapped the top of the bar. That is a straight ban from Wetherspoons.
The allegations of drug use have been strenuously denied by the new Russian Minister for Doping, Keith Vaz.
We were afraid the Chinese were going to use doping, and here she is. What a fantastic athlete. Doping!
Breaking news, Ryan Lochte has tested positive for being a twat.
And Oscar Pistorius has jumped the gun, and for that he'll only get 6 years.
Well, a nearly perfect execution there, but not quite as perfect as the one he'll receive when he returns to North Korea.
You join me live at the All Dancing. Fucking state of it.
At the end of that, the point's going to run at Hugh and Milton.